Okay, we're back. We're going for part 2. Okay, there's part 2 of the Erie Water or Erie Preserve.
Erie
Wildlife Sanctuary Preserve. Yes, that's it. Okay, again, I'm not alone. I have Paul and I got Tommy with me here.
Pigman.
The Pigman, yeah, the famous movie star who gets killed by Bigfoot 6 times. Okay, amazing. Alrighty, and he becomes, yes, and then the Pigman, he becomes Bigfoot's best friend. Alrighty, so that's our intro. Shouldn't be much of any way of noise pollution other than a ton of frogs and bullfrogs, which are actually part of it. We have thunderstorms that are in the area, and it looks like we got about an hour. It's about midnight. We got about an hour till they get here. So we're gonna roll over in a different area. This is a swamp over here. Okay, so our objectives. Okay, we're looking for wildlife, signs of wildlife, especially the predator or predator activity. Okay, we're also looking for what the reports in this area are of Bigfoot, Yeti, Sasquatch, Ohio, Grassman, whatever you feel like calling them, although we are in Pennsylvania, Crawford County. Okay, so we have our hiking objectives. Okay, and what we're also trying to do is establish habitat for a very large apex predator like a Bigfoot. That would go also along with the area of reports. There's lots of black bear around here. So lots of black bear, possible cougars, coyote, coy wolves, and wolves out right. Okay, so we probably might just find some spots to chill out. And son of a gun, I took the razors off my ears, and don't you know, a bug goes right for them. Jeez. Okay. Now, we've seen some people fishing off of here earlier in the day. No idea for what. What is that? Are we getting like a rushing sound? Is that water?
Yeah, it's an overflow.
An overflow, okay. Alright. Makes sense. Alright, let me put my razors on. Bugs are attacking my ears. And there goes my flashlight. Okay. Drop my flashlight. This always takes me a second to put back together. See if I can carefully set this on the ledge. I'm being very dangerous right now. See if we can just hold it steady here. That one's close. Some of the bullfrogs almost sound like they're right underneath me. You can see the steam coming off the pond there. So we don't have a real good view. Kill this light. It's dark. Literally, you can see nothing there. I want to show you, if you can see, that's part of the Big Dipper right there. It's not coming in clear. You can see it full out here to the south. We got some thunderstorms and a lot of lightning bugs. All right. I don't know if we're gonna. I'm gonna probably have to turn things off here. All right, I'll catch you back in a minute. Okay, we're back, and because I'm a little bit busted up, I'm a little bit done with the hiking, but I have with me two guys with a ton of experience and a ton of experiences. I thought maybe because we're sitting out here, and I think one of the ways of finding these things is just sitting here and letting them come to you if they want to, but who knows? None of us are experts at this, because none of us, to quote Wes from Sasquatch Chronicles, none of us have one in the basement. But so Paul and Tommy, get over it. See, okay, we're just gonna kind of have a little discussion, yes, on that of one of the things we were sitting here talking about while I had the camera off. Let me get this positioned here. Was the probability of one being in a particular area. Like for this area, we definitely established there's a habitat for some very large apex predators. There's food sources out the wazoo, from farms close by to tons of water, lots of woods, and seclusion and large deer population, large frog and fish, and a lot of other types of animals that we're seeing here too. Apples, and that's what I say. This place in particular has a bunch of apples and berries at it, so it is definitely what you'd say prime for it. Some of it is we can go out and look all we want. Let's see if I don't know if I can switch this around. Oh, it's not gonna work that way. We'll just try and keep it this way. We can search all we want. If they don't want to be out that night, they don't want to interact with us, it's not happening. So, we're talking about like the population. The state of Pennsylvania is high population of deer, somewhere close to 2 million deer, plus they have elk. But you have 2 million some deer, and you can go into the woods and not run into any. Okay, you look all over and you can't find them in a particular night because we're only getting a snapshot because we can't sit out here forever. We don't have the battery life to record that. So, but what I wanted to go over is, like I say, what you guys think of your probability of of what you guys were talking about there a little bit, probability of finding them in an area, and I don't know, anything with that X factors of I don't know, man, if even like those little thunderstorms just south of us might be making some things hide, or
might be bedding down.
Yeah. But what do you guys think of, like, say, for the best possible way of finding or having an interaction?
I think the best way is the audio recordings. I mean, there's a lot of, it may or may not be all the time, but the audio recordings are definitely the best way. And when you have an audio recorder out, it's recording for the entire evening till the next morning and stuff, and I think it's good to do it that way.
Yeah, and that puts a low fingerprint on us. It does have a little bit of the human smell on it, but not near as much. And the audio recorders can pick up sounds from a good distance away.
Yeah.
Trail cameras, one of the things I noticed about the trail cameras, every animal recognizes that camera and starts, from raccoons and deer, they start sticking their nose up to that trail camera. They know it's there. Like they hear it, either they can hear something in it or see a light that we can't see.
And the lithium batteries,
Yes.
the bear are really attracted to the lithium.
Really?
It always wants to eat the batteries.
Wants to eat them. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and
I did not know
usually-
that.
I think that was a death sentence for many of them that eat them.
Yeah, well, that sounds like it. I can't
Yeah.
imagine it being too good.
Yeah.
I've been known to just chew up trail cams. Bears do.
And that's what I'd say is you don't even get, like, how the heck do they know they're there? I've had that here too, multiple times. It's the raccoons will stick their face right up into the, like, literally their eye into the camera. And I've had deer do the same thing. I've had, like, the deer was walking down a game trail and noticed my camera and walked over to it, stuck its nose right into it after it checked it for it, then moved on. And I'm like, so it spotted it, whether it smelled it or I don't know what it can hear it.
You often wonder if they can hear it or the infrared, they see it or whatever the case is.
When I was in Massachusetts, these two guys up there, the Vogel brothers, I don't know if you heard of them, but they're the ones that put on the conference that we went to. But he's been trying to work with this company. I think they're out of Massachusetts, MIT, Institute of Technology.
Yep.
And they developed this thing for hunters. It's a camouflage suit. And he was demonstrating it. He had some kind of electronic device there, and he had a meter that detected the it may have been the
EMF,
electromagnetic waves, but he was detecting it off of there, and he took a piece of the cloth, like the shirt or the pants, and he placed it over that, and then he held the meter there again, and you couldn't. There was nothing. It was zero.
No.
And he was talking about how your body
Mhm.
emits an electrical field that animals can see.
Yep.
And he
Oh,
was,
yeah.
And
So, and you know what? Some people can see them. That's what they call an aura.
well, he was
It's like an electromagnetic field.
Yeah, you're right.
He was. They were showed some demonstrations with this guy out there in the field, and the turkey walks right up to him.
Mhm.
And
Well, I
and the
told you I
bobcat-
had that
the
happen,
bobcat
too.
Walks up to him.
Well, the bobcat walking up to you would be interesting. I haven't had that. I've caught him screaming on camera, but
They're pretty skittish.
That hex camo.
Yeah,
My,
that's what it's called.
Oh, all right,
That's what I'm
yeah.
talking about.
Yeah, my buddy at work, he has hex camo that he wears hunting and stuff, turkey hunting and that,
Yeah.
and he swears by it.
That's what it is. It's a hex camera.
Yep. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, because it's kind of usually I'll do like live Q&As, but we can't do live here for nothing, and it's middle of the night, literally. So we figured, yeah, just we'll talk about some of that stuff. So,
You know, another thing that has a lot to do with this is, I think, like, you may get lucky in daytime, you may see one and this and that, lucky or unlucky, but I think the majority happens between like 1 o'clock to 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
And
okay.
so that's all the more reason that they're hard to find.
Well, and I'll tell you,
It's the best time.
3 a.m. is the best time. The witching hour. Okay, the witching hour. That and 3 a.m. was that was the night watch. That was even if you biblically 3 a.m. was the time where
The first
the
turn.
3 a.m. Where Christ would where Jesus he that's where he would do most of his praying was that 3 o'clock to like 6 o'clock hour. That makes sense. And unfortunately, like I hit a lot of things at dusk and then going into nighttime because a lot of the predators are active right at that moment. Same thing with the deer are active right at that time. But you just gave me something new to think about trying to go and find them. Yeah, that 1 in the morning. There's not a lot of people up unless you're the night shifters or you're insomniac and.
Or you're sitting in your house and something comes up and smacks your house or whatever,
I think they're used to not having the night to themselves. Late at
Right.
night.
Smack
in the
your
night.
house things. Have you guys experienced anything like that, or
What's that?
the smacking the house side of the house thing?
We've
I know you
had-
were talking about. You were telling me a story in Geneva on the Lake.
Right.
That's in Ohio, which is it's in Ashtabula County, not far from me.
You want me to tell that story?
Yeah, because I'll just give a little background that this is a place about 24 miles from my house that actually has the largest number of sightings. Why I haven't got there for a hunt is, I don't know, I should. But anyway, go ahead. with
Okay,
that.
I was working at that Perry
Nuclear-
nuclear plant, and we had I'm an insulator, so we were making these removable insulation pads to put on the pipes for them to take off and x-ray the pipes. And I was sewing, using the sewing machine, and the other guys would go in the plant, take measurements, come out, and they'd cut up cloth, and they'd bring it to me, and I would sew it. So they had this big work table out in the middle of this. It was a triple wide trailer, and in the end there was a little office, and that's where I was at with the sewing machine. And anyway, they're out there talking the whole time while they're working, and they called me in there. They said, "Hey, Paul, come in here a minute." And I come in there. I didn't know what they were talking about, and they said, "What do you think this is?"
Well,
And these two guys from Louisiana, they said they were staying at Geneva on the Lake. This was in February, so real cheap. So they're staying there in a little cottage.
and I'll tell you, Geneva on the Lake in February is almost deserted
Yeah,
because it's a summer resort town.
that's why they got it so cheap. So anyway, they're from Louisiana and they're staying there. They said, yeah, last night we kept hearing this noise outside, some weird animal or something. We didn't know what it was. Just heard a weird noise, and every time we look out, we couldn't see nothing. And he said, Then the next thing we knew, something slapped the side of the cottage so hard that it shook it. And
It'd be a little scary.
I think it was around 11 o'clock at night is when they said it happened. But while they're talking, I got on my phone and looked up the BFRO. And when I got on the site, it said has the most recent reports. And the most recent one was there at Geneva on the lake a month earlier.
Because Geneva State Park is right there. That has had numerous sightings, and the roads around it, they've had people seeing it running through fields paralleling cars, but some crossing, and some of it crossing streets. Even then, I-90 at Geneva, going through the Geneva, between Geneva and Madison, Ohio. They've had them sighted by the interstate, like watching traffic, has been the reports that I've got. But that's like considered one of the hot spots of Ashtabula County in Northeast Ohio, because Madison, the town next to it, has a lot of the same activity. So
A lot of woods there.
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay.
A lot of woods. It's getting some more people into it now than what it did, but it's still, there's a ton of woods and a ton of places. That Geneva State Park is a huge place that is wooded, and there's a few paths through it, but there's a lot of places not really accessible by paths. So a lot of place to hide there. I've driven through there and looked around, and I'm like, oh, this is like gold here. Not only that, the Geneva and Madison area there they're usually the ones that get the highest snowfalls, some of the higher snowfalls in the area. Conneaut's usually right up there with them, but they get a lot of that. They get a lot of precipitation there. So I think that's something that's needed, because our precipitation level for most of Ashtabula County is because of Lake Erie, the snow belt. And I think here is probably the same. It's on par with Seattle, Washington, the Pacific Northwest, okay, which is, what they say is prime Bigfoot territory, okay? So we get the moisture, it's the same kind of moisture and the same kind of lack of sunshine as the same as these places. Bigfoot here in Pennsylvania, you even have the mountains just like them. I mean, there's maybe a little taller, well, maybe a lot taller, but still, there's these. And here, what I keep seeing driving over here, because it was beautiful, is you have the mountains, you can see the ridge lines, and then the valley between and the next one. And right now, that's what we're at. We're sitting down in one of the valleys, because we're hoping maybe we could catch something calling between the valleys. So the other thing I wanted to say is, for you guys is individually, your, I don't know, scariest, most terror, whatever, best sighting or encounter thing that you had happen to you. If somebody said, you believe in Bigfoot, and you had one story to tell to them, what would it be?
Oh my.
I know you have a lot of them, but...
Oh my.
I think, Paul, you got one?
Well, I've never actually had a sighting. I mean, I saw those eyes.
Oh, well...
Seen the eye shine.
Oh my gosh, he was showing me the video of this, and you said Alabama.
Yeah.
Man, you literally went staring face to face with that thing. How far was that from you?
I would say about 50 feet.
That is really close. That is like danger close.
Well, where I saw the eye shine, that was only about less than 20 feet.
I was going to say, that looked really close, like you guys were having a close staring contest.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
You have that one on your YouTube channel, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What happened was, I was my grandsons they do a Bible memorization competitions.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And they were going to do a national competition down in Pensacola.
Mm-hmm.
So we went. That was my excuse to go down there for that, but I wanted to go down because I wanted to go squatching in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So my wife was all for going down there for. I wanted to go for the grandkids too, but I also wanted to make that on the way.
So
back.
is your wife into squatching?
No.
Oh,
I mean, she likes camping.
Okay.
She believes in them, but she has no desire to go out looking for them.
Okay.
So
now,
anyway,
we're
at a B&B in Pensacola,
Mm-hmm.
and I went an hour north into Alabama.
Okay.
To what happened was I got on X on Grok, X Twitter.
Yeah.
And I got on Grok, which is the AI, and I said, "Where is the best place to see a Bigfoot in Alabama at this time of year?" And not that Grok is the all-knowing thing, but it's just that
There's a
AI
starter.
can scan all these reports and all this stuff in seconds, where I could have done it myself, but it would have took hours. I was just doing it the lazy way. So I asked it, and it said that Conica National Forest in Alabama, southern Alabama. So it's an hour north of Pensacola, and I drove up there. And first I went to, it's called Boggy Hollow Wildlife Management Area.
That Boggy Hollow, that just sounds like a Bigfoot place.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that name, I was like, I got to stop there.
Oh, yeah. You're like,
I
oh,
went there
gosh, this is it.
And while I was walking back in there, I didn't hear anything, but I saw this light. It was real. I mean, it was like me looking at your light right now.
Okay.
Real bright, and it was pretty big. And I thought, well, that must be like a porch light or something. But after I was, like 2 days later, I'm looking at a map, and there's no houses anywhere around there. But I kept seeing that light, and then I would lose it, and I'd be looking around for it, and
gosh.
I'd go walking down the trail some more. Oh, there it is, and I got it on my phone. I
Yeah,
show it on
you showed me, and
this is different. This is
okay.
a different video.
Okay.
So anyway, I finally determined, well, it's got to be a porch light or something, and then I ended up leaving. I just was, because I never saw two, and I'm wondering if it was peeking around a tree, and that's what I seen. But anyway, I left there, and I went to the Conica place that Grok suggested. I walked around there by then it was like 1 o'clock, and I walked around for about an hour back in there. At one point I did hear something, and I looked over, and there was some real tall grass, and there was a tree there, and I saw two eyes looking at me over top of the grass, and they're looking right at me, and they blinked.
Oh,
So I grabbed
God.
I got it right here. I grabbed my thermal out real quick to look, and I look down, get my thermal, and go back like this, and I don't see nothing. I'm scanning all over. So I thought, well, okay, it must have been a deer that took off. But it didn't really look like deer eyes. But anyway, I thought, well, it must have been a deer. So I keep on going, and then I see eye shine on my right, and I scan over there, and it is a deer. So then I'm sure, well, the other one must have been a deer too. So I keep on going, and it was pretty chilly. I was in March.
Okay.
And my hands are getting cold. It was real quiet. I wasn't hearing anything. I didn't have those headphones back then. So anyway, I finally got, I was getting cold and wasn't hearing nothing. I thought, well, I'm just going to go ahead and go. So I started to head out. Well, I accidentally went the wrong direction on the trail and went farther in.
Oh.
And
That's not
I
good.
started noticing things didn't look familiar, and I was like, oh. I checked my app, and I'm like, oh.
That's you know.
So I started heading back, and it was when it's a good thing I went that way, because none of this would have happened. But anyway, when I got to that point where nothing looked right, so I turned around. There's the trail. You'll see it in the video. There's these bushes that are taller than me that run a real long ways parallel with the trail. They're right beside the trail, like 10 feet away. And so I'm on the trail, and as I start to head up there, I see eyes over top of them bushes looking right at me, and I see them blinking. So I grabbed my phone out. I didn't have my phone on at the time. I would just periodically shoot some video and talk, and I put it back in my pocket. So I hurried up, grabbed my phone out, and I'm videoing. I said, I just saw eye shine, and I'm talking about it. And that's the one I showed you where it ducks behind the tree.
Oh, gosh, that is so creepy.
And I didn't see that when it happened.
I got to say, you didn't?
No.
I was going to say, if I would have seen that, man, I would have...
Well, I mean, I saw him looking at me
pants,
over
I'm
top
sorry,
of the
man.
bushes right before that. But when it ducked to the right, I didn't see that. It happened so fast.
You seen it over top of the bushes?
Well, if you watch in the video, there's two trees, and then the bushes are in between. They just run all down through there. But then there's like a low spot in the bushes, and they're right there at that low spot looking at me. and I saw him blink, and that's when I grabbed my phone, and I'm trying to catch it, and I'm talking about it, and I say, I just saw eye shine. I'm moving the phone around, and I didn't notice that I caught the one ducking.
Oh,
and then I started walking on up the trail, and when I got to the end of the bushes, that's when I saw those two eyes looking at me.
Oh my gosh.
And they were so bright, I could see them without even looking. Before my headlamp was even over there, I could see them.
Was your headlamp lighting them up, or
No,
were they emitting light?
That's what I'm saying. They were like lights. I could see them before my headlight went over there.
And this is the thing is with eyes. Okay, this is something we have to we'll get into next what we think they are, but scientifically, that's supposed to be, according to our scientists, if you believe them, that's supposed to be impossible for eyes to emit light and be able to see at the same time. Mm-hmm. I said, so again, do you have anything of a story that you wanted to share? And then we'll go into the next.
This is a story that happened to me.
And try to do this without blinding you.
Oh, that's all right. It doesn't matter.
Try to get you on there a little.
I'm used to being on camera.
Okay.
So.
Yes, I mean, I know, because Bigfoot's killed you 6 times.
So this was quite a few years ago. My buddy and his wife, they had split up and stuff. And she had already moved. And he lived in a nice house in nice part of town and all this and that, not many neighbors and all that. And so I was down at work. I have a garage, and I was at work, and he come down. He's like, hey, he's like, why don't you come up tonight, drink a few beers with me, and I'm going to say goodbye to you. And I said, all right, yeah, I'll come up. And so I did. I was up there, and I was hanging out with him on the back deck of his house. It's just like this. So I was leaning against the deck, and he was leaning against the deck elsewhere. And we're sitting there talking about good times, bad times, and all that. And while me and him were talking, I heard behind me, I heard a cow that went,
cows can make some really loud noises,
yeah. So I turned around and I said, did you get a cow that I didn't know about? He's like, no. I was like, I wonder, that's got to be one of your neighbor's cows that's down here. I was like, it has to be. He's like, yeah, it probably is. So I started talking to him again, and we kept hearing that moo behind us a couple of times, like probably 3 times. And I was standing there looking off the deck, and I was like, can you give me a light or something I can look with? He goes, no. He's like, the movers come in and they took everything in my possession. They took it with them. He's like, I have nothing in this house at all. Spotlight, flashlight, nothing. So I was standing there looking off the deck of his house, and he was beside me, and we were couple of dummies with no cell phones back then and no flashlight of anything, so we just stood there and looked and looked and looked, and and it ended up, I was there for a while, and I said, all right, goodbye, and all this and that, and so I went home and stuff, and so many years went by, and the farmer that was beside him, his dad was known to be kind of like a mean guy. Okay. And the kid was down at my shop getting something done. And also it was on Bog Hollow, like Paul was saying, and what I was saying is a good place. So he was down there getting some work done and stuff. And I said to him, I was like, hey, I got to ask you something. And I was like, how often did your cows get out when you're growing up and stuff? I was like, how often did they get out? He looks at me stone cold, and he's like, never. I was like, I know your farmer's pride, nobody wants to admit when their cows get loose. And I was like, did you ever have a cow get into the bog? which was
Yeah.
right by where my
Yeah.
my friend's house was.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, I'm not kidding you. He said, we never had a cow get out of there at all. And I stood there and I was like, it's purely conjecture on my part or whatever. Yeah, probably wishful thinking and stuff. But therefore, I just have to think to myself that there was something behind him, and it was so close to us, and we couldn't see it at all. And I think it was mooing at us, just like his cows did. But I think it was a Bigfoot mimicking them that was.
Yes.
Did you ever hear Amy talk about being there at Salt Fork and hearing the cows out in the woods there?
Yes. I've heard that story at Salt Forks about the cows in the woods.
When Amy and them were out there, they heard them. Right, it sounded like they were just out in the woods there, right by the group camp.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've heard people telling those stories. Okay, yeah. So, as far as I've never been able to actually, people will tell me what a credible guy I am, thank me for my service and everything. We start getting into Bigfoot, and I'm telling you, they literally say, you're crazy, you're nuts. And I don't believe you. And it's like, I'll believe you for everything else, but I won't believe you for this. I have been unable to actually convince anyone, even with all the evidence that I've collected.
Yeah.
And I showed you some of that, and it's like I have not turned one person that I know of.
Well,
I can't.
It's kind of hard to argue with us being nuts when we enjoy going out in this heat and hiking through the woods at this time of night.
I get it. Right, but I mean,
It's like Paul said, because he was at my house all week, and he can understand why my situation is what my situation is. I have a garage, and there's a lot of people that come in there every day, and this and that.
And he's not hiding that he's into Bigfoot.
Right. But I come across as a guy who I'm willing to believe just about anything that anybody has to say, and they feel very free telling me their stories. Therefore, there isn't the wall of resistance for the average person. If they're inside there for a half hour to 45 minutes getting their car worked on, I look at that as my chance to perform. So I get to tell them about, you ever have anything happen at your house? And they're like what? And I was like, well, just noises or slaps or anything. And they're like, yeah, as a matter of fact, I do. And yeah, it's pretty magical, actually.
Oh, I mean, I looked at Titusville on the map, and I went, oh my gosh, this looks like a great place.
Yeah.
So, I know it's again, but everything is timing.
Yeah.
And again, that gets into what in God's name do you think it is? I have so many people saying, or whatever they call the woo stuff. And again, Bigfoot community, it seems like everyone fights with each other. It's got to be their way with what it is when you don't actually know. But I don't know. I've had people tell me they think there's alien activity, there's spiritual activity with it, or the interdimensional beings, all that kind of stuff. Then you have some that are flesh and blood. What do you think? I'm gonna be like Wes at Sasquatch Chronicles. What do you think it is?
I think it's all things listed. I think it's everything you just said, man.
Okay.
Nephilim, demonic, spiritual, everything.
The one thing I would say is a lot of the times when it's dealing with people, especially when it's getting aggressive, it's almost like there's the moment where it's waiting to see whether it has permission to touch the person. Is where I kind of get into a spiritual aspect of it. But especially being a Christian, like you said, you can't touch one of God's properties without his permission. So, and I know that there's also been the evidence of these things leaving when people have called out the name of Jesus. But and it's like I have seen a flesh and blood one. I have seen it in flesh and blood, it's where it's throwing rocks at me, breaking sticks, and I've actually seen it shaking the trees when I was younger, or stealing our food. And I kind of wonder, it's like, if this is some sort of spiritual being, and why does it need to eat? Why is it? And then some people saying about, because they talk about my guns will have no effect on it, and I kind of laugh on it, that it's like, then why would it hide from me? If it can't die, then what? If you're immortal, what in the world would you care? You're not going to give a damn, because it can't stop you.
So getting back to the Christian thing, when Jesus come back, he walked through the wall, and yet he was still eating the food. I mean,
when Jesus returned, but he returned back. When he returned back while he was on earth, had a physical body, because even when he arose, he still had the scars and everything like that. So he had a body. So I mean, yeah, we're a spiritual person, and the body is the shell. So, but I'm on again. I'm not saying exactly. When somebody says they think it's interdimensional, I'm not saying they're wrong. My thing is, as you know, is I'm someone who believes it and has had experiences. I know it's there. What it is what I don't know, and I'm not going to say, well, you're wrong, because how do I know that they're wrong?
Right.
Okay.
One thing I would say is that if there's one thing that it's not, it is not Gigantopithecus.
Okay.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Well, when we were younger, me and my friend Ken that I talk about, we definitely used to think that, but then as we got going, learning more of it, we realized that we really just doesn't. It's just not fitting. So, and when people tell me, well, people would have found a body and everything, and this is my answer to that, is I do believe they have found bodies. I believe our government comes and takes them, and whatever, Men in Black have been reported with these things as well. But I mean, because there's orbs and there's been UFO sightings all around with Bigfoots. Jack and cameraman caught on this thermal, this portal opening, and it's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. I don't know if you've seen his portal video. Most amazing thing. I have no explanation. You can see things coming out of it, and then he ended up in the hospital with radiation poison.
Wow.
Okay,
that's impressive.
So what it was, it was only showing on his thermal and not on his regular camera. What it was, I don't know. But they were catching all of these on the camera. They were catching all of these orbs going in and out of MT, and I got no explanation for it. So when it's there's people who are arrogant to say that can't say I don't know. But this is my thing. Is what I'll say is I know enough that I know that I don't know. So I know it's there. I believe it's a real thing. But exactly what it is, and then if there's these other things, Dogman, you start getting into rakes, or any of these other things, and are they real? I'm kind of thinking, in a manner, yes, and I'll tell you, there's a lot of things I think just have some sort of demonic presence with them. Dogman in particular does. But Dogman has been literally characterized back in ancient Egypt, Greece, everywhere, all over.
St. Christopher.
And that's what I'm saying. Then you have the St. Christopher legends, who literally was supposed to be one of those type of Egyptian, for lack of better terms, Dogman type things. But he believed in Christ.
Exactly.
So, which would indicate he had a soul with the ability to make choices.
I have a hard time getting my mind around that one, man. I really do.
So...
but I think it was real, man.
I don't have right. There's so many people who like say they're from Missouri, the show me state, and they're not. Well, and that's what everyone says. Oh, if it's there, show me. Then same thing with. And a lot of things, it's real hard to find bear remains and out in the wild.
Exactly.
The nature already has a way of cleaning up itself.
I mean, other than a roadside
But
kill.
again, these things seem to be smarter than that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, they've seen things where animals will mourn over dead. So if that happes, then these things may have a burial ritual.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, as far out as it is to say, who's to say that they don't regenerate? I mean, who knows? Because like David cut off Goliath's head for the reason some people said if his head wasn't cut off, he would have regenerated.
Well, there's the thing of, was he really, because he nailed him in the head with a stone and he fell down, was he really dead yet? He may have not been.
After he went down, he cut his head off with Goliath's sword.
He used his own sword, which is, and David hunted the other ones that were related to Goliath.
Well, this gets pretty far out there for me, but like in the David and Goliath story, when he showed up to battle Goliath, he had 5 stones with him. Why did he have 5 stones?
That was for his brother, for Goliath's brothers.
He was going to kill a whole bunch.
Yes, he got them all, and I love his confidence and faith. Definitely a role model. Okay, then if this is one of my accounts, Afghanistan. When I did 2 tours in Afghanistan, so I got to deal with some Afghanis. My first one there, I was talked to some army troops who told me about asked me if I had heard about the Kandahar giant. Okay, and I'm like, well, what are you talking about? And so these guys were telling me one of the run-ins that they had with several of these large. What's that? Here's something squeaking out there. But anyway, these large giants. I mean, very large. They were like, but they weren't like Bigfoot. But they looked like they were people. Most of them were like some sort of redhead thing or whatever. But there were several reports of that. Kandahar in particular. That's where that legend. That's where I was. When I went back for the second time, there was some stuff dealing with villagers, some of their stories, because one of the guys, kind of goofing around, asked one of them, have you ever seen Bigfoot? And there's an interpreter telling them because they speak Pashtun. And the guy got ticked off. I mean, like, why are you wasting my time talking about something that's a total nuisance that I hate? It steals my crops and everything like that. So it's like, in other words, like, yes, it's, and that's an actual, what you would say is a Bigfoot, Yeti over in that area, because that's the parts of the Himalayan mountains over there in Afghanistan. And so there's a giant that looks like a person, and there's also a Yeti. So it's like, okay, well, they're not related, because it seemed like the Afghanis were working with the giants, but they hated the Sasquatch.
Oh, I didn't know.
So that's my experience with that.
I've heard of things people talk about the snow giants, like up north and like Alaska and places.
And they say for Alaska, they're a lot bigger. And you can really see, I mean, there are some gigantic animals in Alaska, and there's so much space up there that it's obnoxious how much space there is. And it's just like in Russia, Siberia. There's so much space. Who really knows what is exactly there?
Yeah.
But I know there's people who are so sure that we people have figured everything out on Earth, and I don't think we have.
Oh, gosh.
So
I would love to get into you with this thing. If you ever get into the flat Earth, oh man.
Well, I'll tell you, our bombing runs that we just did in Iran literally proved there's okay. So we sent a decoy B-2 bombers headed west. Okay, and then sent the ones that were delivering, sent them east. Okay, the ones going west ended up over in that area eventually. Okay. And the ones going east made it over there too. Okay, if we have a flat Earth, then you got to tell me how that's possible. And then you're like, well, it's cylinder shaped. Well, that's not flat.
We'll have to have that discussion another time.
Okay, all right. We'll get into that, I guess. But I can tell you, proof of that, I think, that this round two is why Anchorage, Alaska, is one of the busiest airports in the world, because it's the hub of transportation where they're transporting goods by air, because it's shorter distance, because the world is round, so it gets smaller up at the top. When they go up there, it's a shorter distance to go up to Anchorage than it is to try to fly straight across from like LA. It's shorter distance to fly up to Anchorage and then down to Tokyo. And Anchorage is actually closer by air to like all of the European nations in this than going east a lot of the times, especially if you're on the west coast. It's proof because the world gets, the globe gets smaller up towards the top, and if it didn't, then Anchorage would not be important at all. But that's another thing. We're getting off the subject. I get off. I don't want to get, because I don't want to get like we're not here to debate each other. Just going for that. But all right, we're gonna kind of wrap this up. But so one last time, say your YouTube channel.
Cryptovania TV and Cryptovania Facebook.
Okay.
And those are really the two main things that we have.
Alrighty. So, and Paul, your YouTube channel.
It's Western Ohio Bigfoot Research, and then same thing on Facebook.
Okay. Alrighty. So, give those guys a like. Check them out at least. I mean, I can tell you, I looked at some of their stuff already, and they got some good stuff. Again, when we're out in an area, it's a snapshot of the moment. And like I said, there's times where they don't want to interact with us.
Unfortunately, tonight was one of those nights.
Right. Yeah.
That's okay.
That we know of. I mean, I'll have to review the evidence, because a lot of the times I find there's stuff found in my videos I didn't see during the hike. I'll think there wasn't much of anything, and we put it out there, and then we find some interesting things, sounds even come across that we didn't hear. So I've had that happen a whole bunch.
It's still nice to be out here doing this with people that you like and trust and you have respect for.
Yes. So, right. I like that, and definitely a little bit easier, especially when you have like injuries and everything, to have somebody else with you in case.
Yeah.
But even if you're healthy, you turn an ankle, you're down in the woods, then you're done. You like, if you can't walk to get out, you're in trouble. You're in some serious trouble.
I agree.
So, alrighty, guys. I want to thank you for your time and inviting me down here.
Thank you.
The place is beautiful, and I will about guarantee you, probably even this summer here, we'll be back down to explore some of the other areas. And again, timing, we got to be at the right place, the right time, and unfortunately, we can try all we want. Sometimes we can't make that happen. Because we fake nothing, so that means that it is what it is, because it's genuine.
It's hard for the star to show up.
Yeah, right, yeah. We offer them this luxurious star role, and they keep rejecting it. Those selfish. Okay, all right, yeah, all right. So, all right, guys. So from the mountains of Pennsylvania here in Crawford County, this is T-Mac for T-Mac's American Experience, saying God bless you, and you have a wonderful evening. Drop things in the comments what you thought, guys. All right, God bless you.